If you saw my video from last week about feeling stressed out in your homeschool and wanting to quit some days, this is a follow-up video to that one. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link in the description box below so you can check that out next and get some encouragement and to remember your purpose and motivation to keep on homeschooling. In that video, I mentioned that the biggest thing that helps me feel less stressed in our homeschool is to be prepared. And as it's summertime, this is the perfect time to get ourselves prepared and ready for the upcoming school year. It's also the perfect time to debrief about how last year went and see what the pain points were and maybe how we could make some changes to those so that the next school year is a lot more smooth. I have 6 tips to prepare for the upcoming school year so that we can have a much smoother homeschool this year. Number 1, choosing the best curriculum for our family. If you've been following me for a while and have seen my curriculum pick videos, you know that I typically change up the curriculum that we're using like every year, at least some of it. I end up seeing all these other options and just always wonder, oh, is that one going to be better for us? Is that one going to be better? But you don't have to do that. And if this is your first year and you're feeling a little lost and overwhelmed about what to even choose, there's a blog called Homeschool On that actually has a quiz that you can take, and it's kind of about your kids' learning styles, and after the quiz, it'll recommend different curriculums to you. So I'll leave a link to that below as well so you can go check that out, and hopefully that'll help point you in a good direction and get you started. If this isn't your first year homeschooling, this is a great time to ask yourself and your kids how you liked the curriculum that you used last year. And if there's anything that just really didn't work well, maybe it's time to switch up at least that subject and try a different curriculum. There are so many helpful videos on YouTube where moms will review different curriculums and show you how they use them in their homeschool, and it just helps give you a really good idea of what those programs look like when you're really using them. I find those super helpful. I have a playlist full of videos like that too. I'll leave a link below for you as well. And I've got curriculum picks and reviews from preschool up to 5th grade at this point. So hopefully that will be helpful to you. After you've chosen your curriculum, the second thing you'll want to do is set up your schoolroom. Now, before we get into that, let me just say, you do not have to have a separate designated room just for homeschooling. You can certainly do it at your kitchen table, your dining room table, in your living room, wherever it just kind of works if you don't have an extra room to do that. At our old house, we ended up bunking our kids up together so that we could have one room designated for homeschool, but there was a time before that where we just did it at the kitchen table. And so you can make all of these things work. It just depends on what you want and what space you have. And sometimes it requires us to get a little creative. But there are lots of videos on YouTube of different families and how they do homeschool in their home. You know, some are at the kitchen table, some are in a playroom or a separate room, tiny rooms, big rooms, one's the size of your head, just kidding. But there's a lot of different styles and options out there. So go and check out some of those videos. They always get my creative juices flowing and help me come up with some new ideas on how we could organize our room and make it more functional for us. So I do have a video of our homeschool room from a couple years ago. So I'll leave a link to that below, but we are currently in the process of reorganizing that room. So stay tuned for that video in the next 2 weeks. I'm excited for that one. Number 3, make a rough draft of your routine for your school days. I say routine instead of schedule because I find it much less stressful to follow a flow for the school day as opposed to a rigid time schedule. Those end up making me feel like we've gotten behind, or that the day is just getting off if we can't follow it to the T, and so it actually adds more stress to my day to do it that way. I really like just setting up a routine. We're going to do this first and then this and then a break and then this and break, and setting it up that way. But before you can really do this, you're going to need to know how your curriculum works. And so if this is a new curriculum to you, you may find it helpful to go look at another video where moms are explaining how it works in their home and kind of giving you an idea for how long it should take you for each subject. But if you have done this before, then you already kind of know, all right, it takes us this long to get through math, this long to get through English, and kind of have some buffer time in there maybe. And then you'll want to think of how you want the day to flow. For example, what time of day would you like to be done with school? And then that helps you figure out what time you need to start school. Or how often do you think your child would benefit from having breaks? Does it need to be after every subject? And kind of how long should those breaks be? And those things help us establish a routine. And a routine brings a lot of stability, not just for you knowing what's going on during the day, but for your child. They know what to expect. This is when we're doing this, and this. This is what's expected of me. And then you want to think of how you want your week to flow. For example, we pick one day a week that is just an unschooling day where they can pick whatever they want to learn about and we're going to follow that trail. Or it's a field trip day or a day to get together with a co-op and do a fun event with them. And we just started doing that this past spring actually and really loved it. It breathed new life into our homeschool. It made the weeks feel a lot lighter, even though we were doing the same amount of work, because we would take that 5th day's work and just distribute it amongst the other 4 days. And so they would have a little bit more to do each day, but having that 5th day to just do whatever and do something fun and not just be in the books was really, really refreshing. But that's just a little idea for you. But yeah, just kind of deciding how you want those weeks to look. I also have a video explaining how we ease into the new school year, basically taking the first 2 weeks to kind of build up to a full schedule rather than coming from fun summer break to a full day the very first day. And this has really helped to keep bad attitudes at bay. So I'll leave a link to that below as well. Number 4, make a calendar to hang up on your schoolroom wall so your kids can see some of the upcoming events that they have to look forward to. You can go ahead and schedule some fun days, some days off, whatever, and that way they can be looking at the calendar and see, oh, it's only this many weeks until this fun thing, this many days till this fun thing. And that just kind of helps break up the monotony of the school year. Number 5, before you start the school year, explain to your kids how the school day should flow and what you expect of them. This is huge. We can't have these expectations and not share them with our kids. That only leads to major frustration on our part. So get some buy-in from them. Talk to them about how the school day should flow, explaining what needs to get done, and maybe asking for their input about how often breaks would be helpful. Things like that. And get on the same page with them and prep them for what the school year is going to look like, what their new curriculum is going to look like. As they're getting older, they're getting a little more independent with their schoolwork. So maybe explaining that up front. Hey, mommy's not going to be reading all of this to you for this subject. You're going to be reading it this time and answering the questions on your own. Whatever it is, getting them prepared and trying to get them excited about how the school year is going to go really goes a long ways. And I really like to explain to them that they play a key role in our homeschool running smoothly and our house running smoothly. If they have a bad attitude, it can make the whole family, the whole day crumble. So we all play a key role to make things run smoothly. And that just kind of helps them have some personal responsibility and awareness of how their actions affect the rest of the family. So all of those things are key things to learn in life in general. And this is definitely a big area where we can help teach them those things. We implemented a behavior system a couple years ago that my husband called the STAR system, and I'll leave a link below to the video that fully explains how that works in case you want to try it out. But that was really helpful to us to have a rewards and consequences system just for our school time. It was separate from the way we discipline, the rest of the day when we're not having school time. So that was really helpful to do something different during our school time. And your last tip, number 6, is to prepare yourself with some ideas on how to motivate your kids to get their work done in a timely manner. Whew. Sometimes they can just drag their feet and go so slow. So we want to have some ways to motivate them. So I have a video explaining a bunch of different ideas. So at the end of this video, I'll put that one up on the screen so you can watch that next. And it's full of ideas that have worked for my kids. It's just really nice to have these ideas already in your back pocket for when those hard days come up or they're having like a really distracted day. And that way you already have some tools in your tool chest to pull out. So again, just being prepared makes a huge difference in our stress levels and how smoothly the homeschool day runs. Next week, I'm actually joining a group of amazing homeschool moms, and we're each going to be sharing our survival kit for homeschool moms, what we find to be the must-haves for homeschooling. So be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss that video. It'll be up next Monday. And if you found these tips helpful, do me a big favor and hit that like button below. That helps more moms see this video on YouTube. And if you're new here, we are the Johnson Crew. I'm Sarah, and I have 4 kids that are 10, 7, 5, and 3. And our channel is all about homeschooling and life as a family of 6. So if that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and join us here every week. And don't forget to check out the description box below. I'm leaving all the links to all the videos that I've mentioned in this one, so you can check those out next and get yourself fully prepared for this upcoming school year. I am in your corner, Mama. Super excited for you, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.